Happy summer solstice from Phoenix, Arizona. Hope everybody's celebrating. I wanted to jump on here and attempt to answer the question I posed the other day, at least give us somewhat of an answer. Can't give a detailed answer, but the question I asked was, what's the emergency? And when I asked my guides, they said it was a national social security, but take away the social, kind of like society, that it's a national society issue, if you get my meaning. And so, no, it was not about the government shutdown. No, it wasn't a casual thing to be calling both vacations, canceling both vacations, turning around, flying back, arriving late at night with sirens going. This was not a normal thing. So I'm talking here about the Lotus Queen and Dark Brandon both returning to the House of White late at night on the 20th. And people were trying to say it had something to do with the shutdown, but that doesn't really make sense because the vice president is not required to address things in the House. She only takes care of a tie in the Senate. But we all need to learn more about the way our government operates, I think. Based on the comments, just saying, just saying. I mean, I think we're all learning together, right? We all had civics class, but that was a long time ago for me. I think it was middle school. So why is there a national society right now? Because of something related possibly to Rasputin. That's what I was told when I asked my guides, and they said, but the main thing they said is this is a national society. Do not be mistaken. It's not something else. It's not something minor. It is a national society issue. And so I was just reminded that the main purpose of Rasputin and all this is chaos. There's a desire to create chaos in our country so that we will not have faith in our government, and so we will kind of turn against each other. And this is why unity is so important. So the really strong message I got is that unity is really important right now, and that although we have our differences, and the differences are indeed profound, for some of us, these are moral differences, right? About how we treat people. But despite those differences, we have to begin to look at ways to come together and unify. And this is what we have to do when we're dealing with a foreign threat. So, in our story, remember that after the joust, there were a lot of reactions to the outcome of the joust. And some people were very depressed and in despair. And some of the naked emperor's followers were dancing in the streets. But then as time went by and everybody was going through the FAFO event, what was happening was a lot of people who were followers of the naked emperor began to see the folly of their ways. And they began to recognize that a number of the promises that the naked emperor made when he was preparing for the joust were empty promises. And now that the joust is over and he's preparing his court, they're looking at the people he's picking for his court, and he's now coming out, and his people are coming out and saying, fooled you, we're not doing any of the things we said we're doing. So what happened on the 20th is that we had a really, really good example of FAFO, right? It was kind of a major national FAFO event because what happened was this outside merchant, Starboy, decided to get involved in the emperor's court, even though he's not a member of the emperor's court. And he decided to try to manipulate the emperor's court into passing certain edicts and proclamations. And so they began to fight amongst themselves, and they basically fought amongst themselves so much that there were questions about their ability to even ever work together again. By the end of the day, their problems were resolved, and it was clear to the rest of the realm that the problem was internal. It was not about the Lotus Queen. It was not about the blue team. It was only about the red team fighting with the red team because of a merchant who wanted to tell them what to do. And so it was a really important lesson for the entire realm to recognize how somebody from another country, another realm, for the merchant is a foreigner from a distant realm who has come here and is trying to change the way we do things in our realm. And people are beginning to see, oh, why are we letting this outside agitator come in here and agitate and create conflicts for people? So this was an important thing that happened yesterday because it's going to result in some revelation, right? Some understandings, right? Some people kind of, not what I was expecting, not what I was thinking, didn't know that's what I voted for. And there are a number of people who are wondering, how is this merchant making decisions when I didn't vote for the merchant? What's going on? And so what was made clear to me by my guides is that it's all about unity now. It's no longer about red or blue, it's about purple. And the dreaming women are uniquely situated to unify the country. For there are dreaming women in every walk of life, young and old, of every color and background, every religion, and even of every political party. There have always been women who dream. And when those women are bold and brave enough, they share their dreams. And when those dreams are shared, we all benefit. And so we are being called upon now as dreaming women, and also as dreaming people of various genders are being called upon now to dream our dreams, to share our dreams, and to gather together in groups of dreamers. It is recommended that everybody gather together in their living rooms with other dreamers and with those people who are interested in hearing about our dreams. It is now the time for us to gather in various places, in parks, on waterfronts, in beaches, in living rooms, in galleries, in congregations, in churches and temples. It is now time for the dreaming women and the dreaming people to gather together to share their dreams. We cannot allow ourselves to get distracted by these little machinations and manipulations by these external actors, these bad actors, these outside agitators. We must share our dreams. We must dream our dreams. We must come together and learn from these dreams that we are having. And the winter is a good time for dreaming. It's a good time for sitting by the fire. It's a good time for cuddling up with hot soup and hot tea. It's a good time for sharing stories. Winter is the traditional time for telling stories. It's a traditional time for going within, reflecting, and receiving wisdom. So during this solstice time, let us do just that. I'm here with my dad, and I visited my dad and found out that he too is a dreaming person. He told me he's been waking up at 3:45 every morning, most mornings since the election, and having dreams. And so we are going to see that there are more and more dreaming people than we realize. And so each of us, while we're together during these holidays, let's share our dreams with people, even people who we think might laugh at us or look sideways, because what we might discover is that there are lots of dreamers amongst us.